By the time most teams finish saying good morning, this AI organization has already made 4,300 micro-decisions, dissolved 190 routine bottlenecks, and deliberately forgotten exactly what it was designed to forget.
This is not a chatbot. It is an operating system for action. And if we think the scariest part is what it can remember, we are staring at the wrong shadow on the wall. Because memory is only half the story. The other half is agency. And when memory and agency fuse, organizations stop behaving like offices and start behaving like organisms. Here's the question that pulled me in and might permanently change how we work. If an AI can hold context more reliably than a team, coordinate itself without constant prompting, and execute under guardrails with machine precision, what is our role now? Manager? Architect? Auditor? Or something stranger, custodians of institutional memory in a world where memory itself has become infrastructure? Today, we move through a hero's journey. Not the hero's journey of a machine. Yours. Ours. We begin as spectators watching a strange system hum behind glass. By the end, we see the blueprint, the fracture lines, and the leverage points. No prophecy. No magic. Just a cinematic truth already unfolding in plain sight. Memory plus autonomy is becoming the new engine of organizations. And here's our first microhook. What if the most valuable person in the company is no longer the one with the loudest voice, but the one who designs what the system is allowed to remember? Most organizations do not fail because people are lazy. They fail because memory fails first. A decision made in March evaporates by June. A lesson learned by one team never reaches the next. A crisis returns wearing a different name, and everyone calls it unexpected. Historically, we built institutions to compensate for biological limits, processes, org charts, handoffs, meetings, middle management, postmortems. Those were memory prosthetics. Useful. Expensive. Leaky. Now we have a new actor. AI systems that can store, retrieve, summarize, and execute across those layers continuously. Not perfectly, but relentlessly. For startups, this creates speed asymmetry. Two teams with equal talent can move at radically different velocities if one has better memory architecture. For enterprises, it reveals coordination debt, the hidden tax we pay every time context is lost. For healthcare, public systems, finance, infrastructure, it raises existential demands, auditability, accountability, reversible action. And here's where it gets interesting. The race is not simply who has the smartest model. The race is who can wrap that model in superior memory and superior autonomy protocols. Intelligence is horsepower. Memory architecture is traction. Without traction, even a race car just burns rubber. What if the most valuable memory in your organization is not what happened, but why it happened? Most people imagine AI memory as a hard drive. Wrong metaphor. A better one is a film editor's timeline. Raw footage alone is chaos. Meaning appears only when scenes are sequenced by intent. In advanced AI organizations, memory is layered. Short-term context for immediate tasks. Episodic logs for traceability. Semantic memory for concepts and patterns. Policy memory for boundaries and obligations. The breakthrough is decision lineage. Not just what did we do, but what did we consider, reject, trade off, and learn. That means a new teammate, human or agent, can inherit judgment, not just documents. Onboarding shifts from archaeology to continuity. But memory by itself is inert. A library does not run a company. Something has to act. Everyone asks, should AI be autonomous? Better question, autonomous where, and at what layer of risk? High-functioning AI organizations do not throw a master switch. They climb. First, the system recommends. Then it drafts. Then it executes low-risk actions when we approve. Then it handles bounded operations under policy constraints. Finally, multiple agents coordinate across systems while humans monitor exceptions and edge cases. Think of it like teaching a pilot. You do not hand over the aircraft at takeoff and leave the cockpit.
You train in simulators, then supervised flight, then constrained routes, then adverse conditions, then full command with instruments always recording.
Here's the counterintuitive result. More autonomy can mean more control. If every action is logged, if every action is reversible, if every action is policy checked before execution, human memory is anecdotal. Machine memory can be audited at scale. The black box can become a glass box if we design it that way. But organizations do not break on sunny days. They break in storms.
A system is not trustworthy because it shines on a good day.
It is trustworthy because it fails safely on a bad one.
In mature setups, failure protocols are first-class architecture.
Confidence thresholds, circuit breakers, sandboxed actions, escalation trees, immutable logs. When uncertainty rises, the system should do less, not more.
That single design choice separates acceleration from catastrophe.
The biggest lesson from autonomous operation was not speed. It was humility, encoded. When unsure, ask. When risky, stop. When conflicted, escalate. That is not merely engineering. That is institutional wisdom made executable. So if memory sharpens judgment and autonomy accelerates execution, why do so many deployments still disappoint?
The uncomfortable truth is this: most AI failures are human failures with better hardware. Memory systems reflect what a culture values. Autonomous systems amplify what a culture tolerates. If we reward speed over rigor, AI scales recklessness. If we reward learning loops, AI scales mastery. The best teams did not replace people. They upgraded roles. From doing tasks to designing systems.
From output to oversight.
From who clicked the button to who defined the policy.
Think of culture as the hidden API.
You may not see it in the interface, but every call depends on it. Garbage culture in, automated garbage out. And then, just when everything feels clean and controllable, a deeper paradox appears.
We assumed better memory means better truth. Not always. AI memory systems are compression engines.
They compress reality into vectors, labels, retrieval paths, confidence bands.
And every compression has bias. What gets indexed? What gets weighted? What gets dropped as irrelevant noise? Here is the twist: an autonomous organization can become dangerously confident in its own internal memory, mistaking coherence for correctness.
A beautifully organized wrong memory is still wrong. And wrong at scale is not a bug.
It is a regime. So the final frontier is not memory alone. Not autonomy alone. It is epistemic humility at system level. Cross-check sources. Preserve dissent. Version interpretations, not just data. Force uncertainty to be surfaced, not buried behind fluent language and clean dashboards.
This reframes our goal.
We are not building a machine that never forgets. We are building an organization that never stops questioning what it remembers.
So what do we do with all this, practically?
3 principles. First, memory with intent.
Capture decisions, rationale, and outcomes, not just artifacts.
A document tells you what existed. Decision memory tells you what mattered. Second, autonomy by level. Trust is earned rung by rung. Start narrow. Instrument everything. Expand only when failure modes are understood. Third, reflection as infrastructure. Audit continuously. Challenge assumptions. Recalibrate policies.
Treat postmortems as compilers for organizational wisdom. In this hero's journey, we begin by fearing replacement. But mastery arrives with a sharper realization. Our leverage is not typing faster than AI. Our leverage is shaping the memory, the rules, and the feedback loops that govern how intelligence acts.
Machines can execute. Only we can decide what should endure. So here is the move for this week. Map one recurring decision in your workflow. Just one. Define the context it needs. Define what should be remembered. Define which actions can be safely autonomous, and under what guardrails. Do that once, and we stop reacting to the AI era. We begin directing it.
And if we continue this journey, next we build that map together: zero to deployable memory schema, autonomy ladder, escalation logic, audit trails, all of it grounded in your real operating reality.
Because the future will not belong to the fastest model. It will belong to the best designed organization.
And maybe that is the quiet revolution, not that machines will remember everything, but that we might finally learn what is worth remembering at all.